Hello, welcome to the Cosmic Energy Forecast. I'm Angela Blaha, and this is your forecast for the week of June 8th through the 14th. So, a couple themes happening for this week. So, the theme for the week is literally stability. How stable can you be? And dedication to the stability, dedication to yourself, of course. Also finding something new, because there's huge energy of motivation and it's almost a bit heavy in the air. So, all right, communication should be pretty easy this week, but let's look at communication with the intuitive higher self rather than the focus on humanity or communication with others. Now, if your intuitive higher self, your intuitive form of communication is the focus, it will be real easy to communicate, right? Because you're focusing on the depths of who you are. Another key feature. So while finding something new this week will want to pull you in, be sure you are pulling in with your intuition. There's a difference between allowing yourself to be pulled into something new out there versus something new in here. Huge difference. Do you see the difference? This is where communication with that intuitive self is going to be very, very important. Actually, it's a key factor for the entire rest of June, the way it looks. So let your intuitiveness lead in your decisions of what new ideas and concepts will help you grow versus distract you. This is a big deal. It's really a big deal because distraction is not really a part of who you are becoming or about who we are becoming as a human race, an entire race. Distraction is not going to be something that's going to benefit you in the future. Now, being motivated calls from your depths, right? Like the depth of you is really what's calling, really what's pulling you forward this week. And following that is the communication that comes with it. You being able to express the depths of who you are, you being able to express what motivates you. Coming along with communication, though, is listening, like listening to those deep calls, listening to what's being pulling you into focus. Everything else is just simply a distraction. So be aware of this. This is a huge deal moving forward, not only for you, but for the entire race of humanity. On June 10th is the solar eclipse. Ooh, eclipse energy, I love it. So lunar eclipse generally pivot us, which pretty much a pivot a couple weeks ago with that lunar eclipse, right? Now we're still feeling the effects of that. Now, on top of that energy, we have this solar eclipse. And even though lunar eclipses come in to sort of break things down for us, things that don't serve us in the long run, the solar eclipse, especially this one, seems to be building us back up. Now, this is going to be a huge, huge energy. This solar eclipse has, the energy is tremendous to building you back up. But it is also playing with the rest of the cosmos here, and communication is the focus. So with communication styles, there are verbals. They're like me talking to you. That's a verbal communication style. There are nonverbals where you just sit back and you like don't express yourself. And then there's body languages. I use a lot of body language, right, to help express my verbal communication. And being comfortable and knowing how to read beyond the words is literally the gift the universe is giving to you. It's actually a gift. So to take practice, but it takes practice is really what I wanted to say. So, but it takes practice. And with plenty of experiences, you build your own practice. You have the ability then to understand language, not just verbal, nonverbal body language, but the telepathic communication that's literally coming on board, which I'm super excited about. But telepathic communication is one of those things that will be our new way of communicating. Now, that takes focus. The mind needs to be focused because telepathic communication reads everything, doesn't it? That's why this your ability to listen intuitively and to communicate the intuition that you're receiving now is huge. It's a huge factor coming into play that's going to completely disrupt the way that we communicate with each other. This is one of the things that the solar eclipse energy is bringing in. Communication styles, understanding language in all forms in order to become comfortable with it. How many of you are comfortable with telepathic communication? I bet not many, because we have a lot of thoughts that we don't express. You see how this is beautiful? I mean, everything playing out now is going to be huge. So this takes listening skills. It takes you focusing on what it is that you want to express and to listen. So maybe you practice your listening skills first and then you communicate, because we aren't really trained to listen, right? We're trained to think and have thoughts and be judgmental, but we're not really trained to listen. Because when we really listen, we don't have all those judgmental kind of thoughts that would be seen as a hindrance to telepathic communication. Instead, if you're listening, your telepathic communication becomes very direct, very focused. The rest is just distraction. All the rest of your thoughts, total distraction. This super eclipse, in fact, will bring with it a lot of change kind of energy, which gives you opportunity to align to these deep callings. Keep in mind, resistance brings pain and suffering. So let that be your clue or your symbol, your sign that changes here. And maybe you need to put in some extra meditation time or extra moving of the body, whatever it is that works for you, in order for you to balance your energy so that you can hear your intuitive self. You see how it all works together? Like there's no disruptions here. Well, there are. We see them as disruptions, but it's really us bringing ourselves together, bringing ourselves into a more whole state so that we can actually advance and move forward. So the best way that I can help you to sort of move through this kind of energy is to surrender. Surrender to the unknown right now, as that will help your mind recognize the new ideas, the new concepts that are trying to come in. Unless you train it to recognize those things, the newness, it will stay stuck in the past, because it's the mind literally that holds us back. And when we can surrender, when we can tell that mind, program that mind to surrender to anything new, it may not be able to understand it right away, but we're going to surrender to that. All right. Surrendering is the first step in achieving a change. So be cautious that you do not scatter your energy when new ideas come in, though. That happens frequently. When we have a new idea, a new concept, we really want to just start working on it right away. Instead, that scatters the energy. So allow time to process the new energy so that you understand it, then you can start working on it. Otherwise, you end up scattered. Only half of it comes in, and you're like, oh, I don't know why no one signed up for this event, right? Self-sabotaging practices then come in. When you allow your energy to scatter, it creates unreliability within you. And it creates unreliability when you're projecting it out into the world. So stay focused on these inner callings. That's how you can keep your energy from scattering, is you stay focused. If you cannot stay focused, then ideas of grandeur feel like they're going to be created in the cosmic field someplace, and they will come into play, and it will definitely create distractions. So keep that in mind. Like, write that down in your journal right now so that you remember. If you have these big thoughts of grandeur, chances are your energy is probably scattering, and you need to bring it back in, bring it back to a focus. At the beginning of next week, there will be tension as our need for freedom to create these new concepts, these new ideas that are just pounding us, they start to eat away at us, right? So we're going to experience probably some real tension within ourselves, which we are projective kind of beings, right? So if we are feeling tense, then we're going to project that out to the world, and everybody else is going to feel tense. So there is a real clash in the cosmic field with a need for structure. Now we're feeling that inside of ourselves, especially with eclipse energies, like we sort of like break down things, and then we're left open, and we're sort of floundering around, don't really know what to do, and we're clashing on, or we're lashing on to a need of some kind of structure. That comes into play this week, especially with this solar eclipse. And we will feel unstable, which is why at the beginning of this week, we're saying, stability, stay stable, stay focused, communicate accurately, right? Because all of those things build the structure that you're going to be looking for after the eclipse and moving into next week. So try to stay as stable as possible. If you can carry this through to next week, you will be perfectly fine. Again, write these things down so that you know what's coming. It's the reason, it's the purpose why we do these. So if you cannot carry through your stability, then the rules and the limitations of the world will feel like mountains that you can never climb over. So it will be challenging and chaotic if you cannot feel that or carry through that stability that you have focused for yourself. The best knowledge that I can give you for the beginning of the week is basically to let yourself be free. Free yourself of your old thoughts, free yourself of your old patterns, free yourself of your old habits. Like, just let them go. Surrender into the new and let all that old stuff go. Because they will try, all those old patterns, those old habits will try to pull you backwards. You're going to have setback after setback after setback. You're going to get more and more frustrated, right? And those mountains will continue to climb, to continue to grow. We don't want that. We want forward growth and movement, stability, focus, and communication. Be focused with your thoughts. Be focused with your emotions, right? So it's a big, big, big week, big energy week, because not only are we moving through this solar eclipse kind of energy, we have all these other cosmic things coming into play, and it's creating massive amounts of energies in the cosmos. Well, we live in the cosmos, right? We are highly affected by all energies. That's what we are, energy beings. We need to start understanding our energy, our frequencies, and how we can either play with the vibrations or resist in pain and suffering with the vibrations. So we hope that this helps you. If you need more information, please check out my website at www.angelablaha.com. Until next week, this is Angela Blaha signing off from the cosmos. Have a most amazing week.